And again, Jason Latimer, I can't say enough about Jason and Kyle and all the excellent people that were really, really nice to us, and how things have changed with the Marlins. This ownership group, this front office is actually trying and reaching out, and we reached out, they reciprocated, and so I can tell you this, hey man, nobody's bashed the Marlins more than I have. All right, I killed Loria and Sampson as they well deserved it. And, with Jeter, it's a wait and see approach. I get it all. But if anybody in the media tells you that the Marlins are not working with people, that's a lie. Okay? Because if they're working with me, they'll work with anybody. No, I'm serious. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm just going to call it like I see it. I've been hard on the Marlins. I told Mike Hill that. Hey, man, I wasn't very complimentary of you guys, with prior ownership. So I don't pussyfoot around or dance around. No, I want people to know where the hell I'm coming from with all of this. And so, this is how it used to be. So props to Jason Latimer and everybody at all the media relations folks at the Marlins. They were awesome, man. I can't say enough about that. And for me personally, I love it. You know what I mean? Look, you got to put your big boy pants on in this business. Okay? If you suck, you got to own up to it. If you don't do the job, you got to own up to it. If you won the game, you're going to own up to it, right? Well, if you lost the game, you got to own up to it. And if you made a good hire or a bad hire, own up to it. If you had a good year or a bad year, own up to it. As long as the criticism does not surpass the reality. That's all it is. And I don't think I ever do that. If you're a bad team, we're going to say that you're a bad team. And if I think you're a bad manager or a bad coach or a bad player, I'm going to say it too. But if I think you're fantastic, I'm also going to say it. It's just the way it is. Live with it. The Heat, they're big boys, man. When they underachieve, I've never gotten a call from the Heat about, well, you're being unfair to us and this and that. In the past, University of Miami football, one of the softest and most sensitive programs in the history of mankind. The Dolphins in the past were also very ultra sensitive. I don't know where they're at yet. They might be still hiding in the weeds of weakness. But at the moment, they've kind of been stand up here, and they kind of are, owning up to stuff. So I like what I'm seeing so far. But in the past, it's, they were whining and complaining when I was at QAM. So, but I think they're working on changing their ways. Panthers are big boys. They get it. Heat and Panthers get it, man. They get it. And I think the Marlins are now headed in that area like, hey, look, man, we get it. You're call it like you see it as long as it is what it is, okay? If we are successful, give us credit, and if we're not, well, then we deserve the criticism. And Mattingly even said that they expect, to make a real improvement this year because of the young guys. And they think their young guys have developed to a certain extent that they're ready to maybe take that next step. Not next step. Look, let's be honest now. This team won in the 50s, right? 57, I want to say it was. Let's get to the high 60s to 70, okay? You can't expect them to improve 20 games. That's just ridiculous. They're not that kind of team yet. They're really, really young. And those of us that follow baseball, really, really young teams, it's really hard to succeed. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need some veteran stars, sprinkled in order to have that kind of success. Like in '03 when you had Pudge, along the ride with a couple of those young guys that really helped out. And remember, all those young guys had been brewing for several years because they were part of the 97 fire sale. So from 97-03, they had plenty of time to mature and grow. And so it was kind of the perfect storm in '03, and everything went your way. I mean, listen, dude, when you beat the Yankees with their payroll, their stars, and you don't really have, Cabrera was a young star, but not considered a star yet at that point. And so when you're able to do that, it's truly amazing, and that's when everything falls into place. So we can't expect more than, let's say, 10 games of an improvement, and that's pretty good for them. Okay, so if they could get somewhere in the high 60s, maybe to 70, that would be the kind of jump that you're saying, okay, now you're headed in the right direction. Now you can start to, okay, build and take that next step. And one of the things that we talked to Mike Hill about was, is there going to be a commitment? And we're going to find out down the line if there's going to be a commitment. He feels there is going to be that commitment. He feels that we're not going to see these players, leave us and go elsewhere. That's what I was explaining to Jazz, and that's what I was explaining to Monte. And I really like Jazz and Monte. Those guys, especially Monte's got that swag. I hope he's really successful. But like I told him, it was one of those things that I don't want to see Christian Yelich, just winning MVPs for Milwaukee. I want to see him winning it with us because he's our guy. He's the guy that we developed, that kind of stuff. And he understood it, which, of course, he's going to understand that. But he's going to end up going where they're going to pay him. So I hope that if he does become a star, obviously Sherman and Jeter are willing to pay and build a real, core here with the Marlins. Because I will tell you this team here that I'm wearing today, okay, they're for real. They're going to build something special. They're not messing around. These guys are crazy focused, okay? And not because they want to beat out the Marlins in the summers and all that. That's not – they want to win an MLS title. They want to win – they want to elevate the MLS itself, okay? That's what they're thinking at Inter Miami, that they're going to elevate the entire league, because they want to get closer to what's going on in the international level. That's what their vision is. And if you're able to do that, you and I know what's going to happen. That thing's going to blow up. So it's imperative that the Marlins, who had, and I got to tell you, the other thing that I loved about Saturday was the kids. And that's something that I think has been lost a lot in baseball, and we need to get kids on board with baseball. Now, although which player was it? One of the Marlins even said, baseball's boring enough as it is. Now, I'm not sure if it was either Jazz or Monte, but even the players realize how slow and deliberate the game can be, and how it's all or nothing too. It's either a home run or a strikeout. There's not a lot in between. Kids don't get to be excited about watching Ricky Henderson steal bases. Just that was exciting as hell, man. I mean, we went through years where we had guys that could steal 100 bases in a year. What was the name of the dude he had the lip up from Oakland? He was, he was McGee? Was it McGee?
Are you thinking way back Willie?
Yes.
Willie?
Is it Willie McGee?
Well, he was with the Phillies for a while.
He had like a thing with his lip, like
if it's the same McGee. McGee was with the Phillies in the '81 championship.
Maybe
it was part of the outfield. Yeah,
maybe
with Greg Luzinski.
No, but I don't think we're thinking of the same McGee with the A's. I don't think we're thinking of the same one, actually. A's and Cardinals. I think he played.
Cardinals, yes.
I want to say. Is it McGee? I don't know. I forgot now. Can somebody help me out there that's old like I am and remembers who it was that was, but maybe it was Willie McGee. But I remember he had like a thing with his lip, like it curved or something, like it was one of those things. But yeah, and those guys would steal.
Davey Lopes back in the day.
But Davey Lopes wouldn't steal 100 bases.
No, not 100, but he was one of the top guys for sure.
But McGee,
Mickey Rivers back in the day.
Yeah. The
thing about it is when you see that guy get on base And it's that moment.
That's
the
it.
way he manipulates the pitcher, and he's not even paying attention to home. And you see the balls, and there's a walk, and now the guy's on second.
He's messing with him mentally.
Even if he doesn't steal the base.
Right.
He's in the pitcher's head.
Yes. And I miss that in the game. I miss a lot of things.
Moving the runner over with the bunt.
I miss a lot of things.
Hit and runs.
Yeah.
It's about keeping guys on base so you could come up and get a 2 or 3 run homer.
But
station to station is boring.
But the numbers tell you're better off just striking out or hitting a home run. You're better playing Earl Weaver ball than you are doing anything else. Earl Weaver was actually made for this kind of baseball. So we'll find out if the Marlins are, committed to it, but it was great on Saturday, and I love that the fact that they worked with us, so we're going to work with them. That's the way I look at it. You're fair, we got to be fair. You got to treat people the right way, and the Marlins in the past didn't care about the fans, they didn't care about the media, they didn't care about connecting. This team's not that way. This front office is not that way. This media relations department is not that way. Anybody that tells you, oh, the Marlins are the problem, I can tell you right now they're not. So if whoever wasn't there on Saturday, okay, any of the other stations like whatever, 560 or 790, if anybody at Intercom on the air was saying that the Marlins weren't, working with you, they're lying. They're flat out lying. Okay? They weren't there because they don't care and they didn't want to work with them. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? It's a local team in town. If they're extending the olive branch, the least you can do is meet them halfway. And so I'm telling you because I was proof.